Okay, this is something that I wanted to talk about because it gives a whole different dimension to the degeneracy and filth that's going on at high-end fashion conglomerates or companies like Balenciaga. So uh, I will show you the first page, and then when we get to to demonstrations of the kind of stuff, the kind of art, uh, so called, that's being promoted or sold by these in these auctions, then I'm just going to describe them for you. So this is yes, we're back on Infowars again. This is a Infowars moment in the sun. Hopefully, there'll be many more moments. The article reads, the title reads, "Site that sells child sex mannequins with genitalia for faces." All right, and here we have a picture of the CEO of the parent company, which is called Kering, the parent company of Balenciaga and several other similarly hoity-toity fashion brands. Um, if you recognize the chick, that's actress Selma Hayek. Apparently, she's married to this guy. Yep. So, uh, the CEO of Balenciaga's parent company, Kering, also owns an auction website that sells grotesque art depicting naked children with mutilated bodies and sex organs for faces. Um, Group Group A Artemis, the holding company of billionaire Kering CEO Francois Henri Pinault, husband of actress Selma Hayek, owns Christie's auction house. I mean, there are things you could say about this couple, isn't there? But that would be that maybe be for another day. Um, uh, not all women marry for looks, clearly, but being a billionaire covers a multitude of sins. Anyway, that's a different story. Um, the Christie's website features a series of art pieces by Jake and Dinos Chapman, including mannequins of children with erect penises and anuses in place of a nose and mouth. Yes, if you're throwing up in your mouth right now, you have reacted correctly. Um, their works fetch from hundreds of dollars to more than $500,000. Okay, so now is where I'm going to turn the screen away from. I'm going to turn the camera phone screen away from the computer screen because I feel that if I show this stuff, uh, they'll probably say, "Strike! You showed obscene material." You know how YouTube is, even though the obscene material is being put out by people that are probably buddies of the likes of Wojcicki and uh, and her cronies. Anyhow, let me turn it around on my own beautiful face here, and I'm just going to describe to you what I'm seeing in this. These are art pieces that again by this duo, James and Dinos Chapman. Okay, so you can, if you want to do a deep dig, just look up those names. But also, I'll leave the link to this site so you can see these works for yourself. So the art piece below is titled "Fuckface," and it's priced at $140,000 alone. And it's a doll, a fairly lifelike doll of a toddler, maybe 3 years old, with red hair, wearing a kind of rust-colored shirt, nothing else. and blue slippers that are with Velcro. But he has a penis for a nose. And is there something with his mouth too? Maybe a vagina for a mouth also. You just have to see it. You have to see it and decide for yourself, I guess. So that's the first piece on display. Okay, so the price, realized that this sold for £115,000, £115,250. So there's another variation of that first one. This one depicts what looks like maybe a 12-year-old girl with long dark hair, completely naked. Her hands are on her hips, and she too has a penis for a nose, an erect penis for a nose, and a vagina for a mouth. And she's wearing nothing. She's naked except for wearing tennis shoes. So then we move on. And again, I just know if I showed this to you, this video would get removed and I'd probably get struck. But these are your friends, Susan. These are your friends, not mine. Okay. To repeat what's his name said at the Golden Globe Awards a couple years ago. They're your friends, not mine. So now we have one that depicts like a I don't know, maybe something like it's hard to tell. Anywhere from a 10 to 14-year-old girl with curly hair. You know, these are all very lifelike looking dolls, wearing a white t-shirt with lettering on it. Can't read the lettering. Red tennis shoes, nothing else. Again, erect penis for nose and vagina for mouth. Noticing a pattern here. I mean, I don't know if I need to or want to spell it out for you, but I'll just say these dolls can be used. Seems like part of the idea is that they can be used as sex toys. I'll just say that. So those are all called fuckface. Ha! You know, how humorous. So other pieces, the article reads, depict mutated or mutilated child mannequins, some conjoined in inhuman and bizarre ways. So now we have one where it looks like, like there's 4 or maybe 5 girls, all naked, all wearing shoes and nothing else. There's something really weird here with the shoes, the nakedness, but everyone wearing tennis shoes. There's something, very unsettling about that. So this one, they're all fused together, and their limbs are sort of out of proportion. So it's like Siamese twins, kind of. But this time they have ordinary faces, no erect penises for noses and vaginas for mouths, at least this time around. But it's still, weirdly sexualized, I would say. And these are still obviously children who are like fused together in this, or conjoined, several of them conjoined. So, conjoined right around the hip or the waist. And their limbs are all over. Oh, and there's one on the floor that's a head and just a leg. Or just a head on an arm. Okay. That's broken off from the rest. Next picture. Is it titled Zygotic? No, that's the one we just saw. I don't know why it's called Zygotic. Okay, and this one is called Two-Faced Cunt. A child, completely naked. I think it's a boy. Has kind of longer hair. Maybe around 7 or 8 years old. Again, fairly lifelike looking. Wearing tennis shoes and nothing else. Well, I say it's a boy, but there's no penis. So maybe it's a girl. But it's the thing has two heads, and between the two heads, there's a vagina. Yeah. Hence the name Two-Faced Cunt. I mean, hilarious. Then we have what looks like a little girl, long blonde hair, naked, but for tennis shoes, Cockroach Kid. And this one has two sets of legs, one where you would ordinarily see the legs, the other has the legs coming out from her hip. And beneath, like in the lower pelvic area, I can't tell what that is. It's some kind of bulge. It's not a vagina, but it's some kind of a weird organ, sort of a bulging, like fleshly ball. It's very it's very disgusting looking. That's Cockroach Kid. And again, if you have the stomach to see these, to look at these yourself, I'm going to leave the link below so you can and see the horror for yourself. All right, the next one. Is this the last one, I hope? Okay, this one's called Doggy. And this has two children, or one child with two heads and two torsos. And the one, and it's like they're stuck together, copulating, because the one behind it, the torso. Am I saying that right? Is that the torso? Yeah, I think so. The torso of the first fuses into the torso of the second, so they fuse together right around where their genitals would be. Only one pair of legs with tennis shoes on, of course. That's part of the fetish here, clearly. They're wearing tennis shoes. And let's see, how many more of these we got? Oh my God. All right. This is the last one I'm going to describe. This has a bunch of, like, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like maybe 10 children, both boys and girls. And they're fused together. They're naked. They're fused together. Some of them have penises for noses and vaginas for mouths. Others have ordinary faces, but they're all naked, and they're all wearing the same tennis shoes. So it's sort of, let's see, does this one have a title? Zygotic Acceleration, Biogenic Desublimated Libidinal Model. Okay. And so this sold, that last one sold for £218,500. Yeah, these were all auctioned off. And then there's a few more, which aren't depicting children, but are showing like chopped up bodies hanging on trees. Oh my gosh. Okay. The gallery, okay, this is the last thing I'll read. The gallery also featured a pornographic VHS from 1996. Oh, retro. Showing two porn actresses having sex with a severed adult male mannequin head with an erect penis for a nose. It sold for $1,300. Despite the recent focus of it online, the British brothers' deliberately provocative work has been sold via Christie's, that's the name of this auction place, for more than 2 decades, achieving prices that range from hundreds of dollars to more than $500,000, Newsweek reported. Among the pieces sold was the videotape of a pornographic film shot in 1996. I just talked about that. Newsweek claimed that Pinault, that's the older gentleman on the arm of Selma Hayek, the billionaire, who is the CEO of the parent company for Bellenciaga, as well as several other high-end fashion outlets. That's the connection here. Newsweek claimed that Pinault has no input what goes on Christie's website. Well, maybe he should. But the following sculpture from the Francis Pinault collection is called Sex 3, showing an amalgamation of demonic skeletal figures on a dead tree, covered in necrotic insects. So you can look at that beautiful piece of modern art too. Yep. Disgusting, degenerate art. But at least it's not showing sexualized children. God. Yeah, this article, this is a doozy. This really knocked me for a loop. I mean, the fact that there's an audience for this kind of stuff, for the kind of art, the kind of, I guess, the sculpture or whatever that they're describing, but they look, again, these dolls look like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they're made of stone or something, but they look like they're made of like some softer, like plastic sort of material, so that they could be, well, used in the way that I talked about earlier. One suspects it anyway. Whew. God help us. So I will leave the link to this page so you can peruse these beautiful works of art for yourself and see just what the rich and powerful are into, where their kinks are. And clearly they like sexualizing kids. We see yet again. All right. So read the article, look at the pieces I've described here if you dare. Thanks for watching.